Hi, I'm Pantazi. I was asked a great question. I went through my YouTube to try and find who sent it to me, and I've got a lot of responses lately. I just couldn't find the person that sent this question to me. If you're out there in the comments, just say it was me and link up the video that you had before. But I've got some other videos here playing in the back. Now, occasionally we see in the MMA ring or the boxing ring or any fight venue, someone hits the deck after a knockout. And what they go through is a set of convulsions on the floor, like they're having a seizure. Now, that can be stiffening of the body that we see in many instances. That can be people just sort of like pushing out with their arms or legs, doing some actions, but you can clearly see that they're not even cognizant of what they're doing. This is a seizure of a type. And what a seizure is it's an abnormal electrical disturbance in the brain. Simply put, okay, and that can be caused by brain injury, traumatic brain injury like in a car wreck, or a heavy blow in a boxing ring or MMA bout, or it could just be a shock on the nerve. And some people, everybody's got a different set of tolerances in their body to blood flow, to air content, to food contents. Everybody's different, okay? We're basically the same. We can digest the same thing, but some people, like for a peanut allergy as an example, they can't take it. They can go into epileptic shock. So what they need to do, or what we need to do, is understand what these seizures are. Now, in our first aid, in our health and wellness sections, we do cover seizures. We've gone through this a number of times. We understand how to deal with it and how to cope with it. And even this seizure recipe that we used in that health and wellness recipe is also viable for people that just have epileptic shock. Okay, epileptics and other maladies like multiple sclerosis or things like this. Anybody that goes into an epileptic seizure or a seizure, there are certain things you can do to correct the body. Okay, and there's certain things you can do using, say, the mental nerve to open the mouth to protect the person from biting their tongue or swallowing their tongue by opening the mouth, using the mental nerve to unlock the hinge in the jaw and to open it so you can insert something so they don't bite their tongue or swallow their tongue. So there's many different things you can do with the Kyusho for seizures. But again, we take a look at some of the ways these boxers get hit, and I'll grant you, some of them are just heavy blows to the head where the brain bangs off either side of the skull, and it's going to cause some damaging. It could cause internal bleeding, which puts pressure on the brain, different set of parameters altogether. But some are clearly linked to the way that their nerves are struck. Now in Kyusho, we've been ridiculed for hitting people. We've been ridiculed for hitting lightly. Okay, so when you're testing Kyusho, it's a difficult paradigm. You have to hit the person to get an effect. Okay, when you hit a person, people complain about you hitting people. Okay, and you hitting people on nerves and important structures, vital structures. But in the same interim, you need to hit them to get an effect, but we keep it light. So then people criticize us for being too light. Well, when we're light, it's for self-protection. If we see that we're light and we daze a person or we get them to drop down into a level 2 or even a level 3 knockout, we know that if we heavy up on the strike, it's going to cause much more potential. And that's why we don't often see the shock factor or the seizure factor in our Kyusho studies, but occasionally we do. Someone gets excited during a sparring match, multiple person attacks, whatever the case may be, and they haul off and they whack the person just a little harder. And you see the same results as you're seeing in the background with these fighters going through these seizures. So again, they are correctable. It depends, of course, when we do it, when we work work on the Kyusho, when we know what we affect, when we're striking the nerves and we cause that, we can correct it. We know that. Some of it can be corrected in the ring as well, and that's why I've sent letters to Dana White early on about correction, cornermen, knowing some Kyusho remedies and some revivals. But again, the question was, what causes this? And again, it's just an abnormal electrical disturbance in the brain is the basic way of putting it. But again, every case has to be researched individually. So I hope you enjoyed this. The films in the back, I'm screwing them up a little bit because I don't want to have copyright infringements, and keep it clean for the YouTube. And so I hope you can seek out these. I'll put the links below in the description of the videos that I used, and you can go from there.